Hey guys, Joel's coming at you with another reasoning session. Today I'm describing one of the visions of the prophet Iħezqe'l, or Ezekiel in the English. This actually was something very, very similar to what I saw when I had my near-death experience. It was profound and really a life-changing experience. I can literally look back, it was just 3 weeks ago, but literally like a pivot that just like turned my whole life around.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
But the passage comes from the opening chapter in Iħezqe'l, when he sees like a whole vision of like living creatures and crazy wheels and everything. But at the end of that all, he sees a throne with a being sitting in that throne, and that being commissions him and sends him with a message to prophesy and tell his people what really the word of the Lord is. So I'm going to start reading in verse 26 of chapter 1. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Yahweh. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. Pretty crazy stuff. And if you actually read his visions, he actually sees like these living creatures with like different animal faces, and they have 6 wings, and they travel as quick as lightning. And like part of their manifested bodies are these huge wheels that are actually complex, like Möbius strips or something. It's a wheel within a wheel. That's the Hebrew term. But it's full of eyes within and without. And like some of this stuff I've seen before. But when I had my experience, I was literally caught up to a place very similar to this. What I saw, just like the vision says, it was like a really bright throne, like emanating light. Like literally so bright that it was just like white light, but made of this light that had like a living quality to it I can't describe. And there was the likeness of a man sitting on the throne. It wasn't like a human being, but the shape of a man. And like from the waist up, it was like a fire. Like, you know how the flames of fire shoot upward? It was like that from the waist up. But from the waist down, it was also fire, just rippling downward. And it was radiating living light. It was living light. And above it, like the passage says, was this rainbow, but it was like a super color rainbow with colors that, man, I don't think I've ever seen colors like this in my life. But it wasn't just bands going, vertical. They were also going like that. But it wasn't a grid. It was like a super spectrum of rainbow. And that itself was like alive. It was this being's crown, but it was alive. And then the throne was sitting on this like sea of lapis lazuli or sapphire. In the Hebrew, the word translated sapphire can actually mean like a lapis lazuli, which is actually what I'm wearing right now. It's like a blue stone with like veins of clear in it and gold speckles. Those gold speckles are actually pyrite. But yeah, it was sitting on this sea of like and it was rippling. Like it was literally like a liquid, but it was stone. But that too was alive. Like the whole scene was life. It was made of life, if you will. It was made of life. This is where life comes from. Anyway, all around this throne and this radiance was like pillars. There was like pillars of what looked like they were made of just gemstones, like amethyst and emerald and carbuncle and all these different stones. Like I didn't bother to, because I was just so transfixed by this being on the throne. and just so overwhelmed. And like he said, when he saw it, he fell upon his face, and he heard the voice of one that spoke. And this being literally communicated with me. And next to this being, there was a man dressed in white, and he had like this red sash with kind of like shoulder length dark hair. And I couldn't see his face very clearly because that too was just radiating light. And I thought I was dead. And I communicated on a telepathic way to this being. And I said, what's going on? This can't be over, because I knew my life wasn't over, because the night before and the night before that, I had set forth my vision. I had made it clear in my mind. I stood on that promise and I said, Source, you have given me this, not for myself, but to create a world that I can help shine light for others, and that we can all move forward to gain a closer perspective of being in line with this nature which you are. I was communicating with this being this way. I literally felt, as I felt my body dying, it took like a process of maybe half an hour for this whole experience to kind of play out. I felt like my body was being eaten from the inside, and I was paranoid. I was like, it's over. There's no way that this was natural cause, but it was so real. And I said, you know what? I said, how can it be over? And the communication that was relayed back to me from this emanation, it was a very clear word, like word for word. This is what was said. I have to empty you of yourself so that I can fill you with my spirit, or so that I can fill you with my essence, basically. And since that day, honestly, during that whole process, I had let go of anything that I thought that my ego was trying to build in this world. And since that day, this vision of actually tuning in with Source and getting to know the heart of Source, like, who is Source really? Is there something beyond just some energetic mishmash of a force field out there? Like, is this force actually personal? Why did I see a vision that actually parallels this so vividly? Well, growing up in the religious institution of Christendom, I was familiar with what they thought of it. But I had thought that, the literal version was just trying to bring this transcendent concept down to a level where you can monopolize people and capitalize on their, offerings and all that stuff, running a business from within a church building. But when I saw this vision and it actually communicated this way to me, and even though I felt like everything was over, the peace and the love that this experience then filled me with, and then the change that came about in my life since then, man, it was like the acceleration has just begun. And of course, I've set myself to move forward this way. It's not going to happen if you're not a willing participant. But I've resolved that there's nothing more important for me. Of course, a lot has been stripped away in this last year or so, right? Just socially and economically, and what I thought was the trajectory of my life. I've stripped away a lot of that stuff now. Some of it was easy, and then some of it took a year. But letting go of all that stuff, I realized that a lot of the stuff that I'd been pursuing was still egotistic and material. But Source promises, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. That means do things the way he does things. Seek what's right for you to be in the world that actually brings glory to this higher power. And all these things, meaning the house that you need to make it happen, the job that you need to make it happen, the finances, the people that you need to work with you to make it happen, the places you need to go to see that vision made a reality, all of that will be added to you. And it will be added effortlessly. You don't have to pursue it. You don't even have to visualize. You just visualize that end goal. And that end goal is literally just unifying with Source, whatever that talent is. You're here for a reason, to help others so that you can enjoy the benefit, of course, but so that we can all leave something in this world that we can move into moving forward. All of us, future generations, of course, the current generation, and even people that might never see the light, for them to actually see a sliver of that light and maybe wake up. That's the hope that we can look forward to sharing with others, because man, even the satisfaction I get making these videos and the comments I get, I know I'm spreading positivity and I'm helping people. Just that itself is a reward more than any monetary reward could ever give me. That's why I'm still doing it. That's why I'm devoting myself to this kind of work. And that's why I think Source has trusted me to take me to the new level. So don't hold back, guys. We're here for a reason. You're here for a reason, and you have a vision. You have a talent that was in you since you were born. Bring it to the world, and we can all live in this bigger picture as we each create little pieces of this utopia. I love you guys sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Stay optimistic, because we are moving forward. So I'll see you in the next Reasoning Sash. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste, Shalom.